Bro, Chance has been going off lately. I don't know if it's because he got divorced, but he sounds hungry. All right, today we have the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. As you guys know, I'm on a mission to review and to test every single marathon racing shoe on the market. There's been a lot of bangers this year. There's also been a lot of disappointing duds that don't really live up to the $250 price tag that these shoes are getting. And one of those is actually from Puma themselves, the Puma Fast Star Nitro 2, one of my least favorite shoes of the year. But everything else that I've tried from Puma this year has been great. Velocity Nitro 3, the Mag Max that we just tried, the Deviate Nitro 2, banger after banger. So today we have the Deviate Nitro 3, their fast racing shoe. I'm hoping it's gonna be a good one. We also are on day 2 of the used shoe marketplace being live. So if you are looking to buy, sell, or trade a gently used running shoe, go sign up at the link below. We've gotten some posts flowing in. I'm starting to post some of my own stuff. You guys know how many shoes that I have. We're gonna start unloading some of the inventory on there. We also got some good conversation going on training and shoes. So go sign up below. It is $1 a month. The IRS is stealing more than that from you every week without you knowing. So $1 a month is, you're not even gonna see that. First of all, man, you already know what it is. I have to give a big shout out to my friends at Riding Warehouse, putting in work on horseback, getting after it on those steeds. Also, big shout out to my friends at Tackle Warehouse, just casting all day, reeling in those bass. And you already know how they do it at Inline Warehouse, just on some skates, getting after it, real speedy. All right, we have the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, and up top, I brought some of the best fast, soft, bouncy racing shoes on the market. Well, the Endorphin Elite is not soft and bouncy, but these other two are. We have the Cloudboom Strike. This has been my recent favorite in this category. This thing is absolute heat from the colorway to the midsole foam. One of the best shoes that I've tried this year. And I was saying yesterday in that Primex Strung OG video, there's some shoes where I don't have to think about whether they're good or not. I don't have to think about my foot strike. I don't have to think about stability. I don't have to think about the grip. I just go out there and run, and it works for me. This is one of those few rare shoes. I did have some weird issues with the upper, and you can see that right here on the top of the upper, right on top of the foot, right below these laces. You can see it bunches up. That created a weird effect where it was a little bit distracting. I'm guessing the light spray version will change that, will fix that. That was the one that they're wearing out at the Olympics, but absolute heat in the midsole here. You can see that they have this taller little insole situation. That creates a really nice, soft, bouncy platform. In the middle, we have an OG Nike Vaporfly 3. Kind of just fit the color scheme, so I wanted to bring it out. But no, the reason I wanted to bring it out, this is one of the, I think, most underrated shoes now in this category. It doesn't get a lot of pop. It's not one of my absolute favorites, but if you're looking for fast and soft, this thing is it. It still has that nice classic ZoomX cushion. It's really easy to turn over the legs. Downsides, though, are it's not the most versatile, and it's also not the most durable. This is not going to be great for putting in a lot of training long runs, and unless you're throwing down some serious pace, it's not really good for anything other than fast race attempts. This actually has my current half marathon PR, and I found it was maybe a little bit too soft in the forefoot. So that's the other thing. I think the market has expanded, shifted beyond just offering this soft, light feel of the Vaporfly. And while it's still light, it's not even the lightest weight option. You have the Asics Metaspeed shoes and the Evo, which are lighter than this. But if you like that classic racing shoe feel, this is a good choice. It almost reminds me of a lower stack racing flat. Not that I've run actually ever in a racing flat, but compared to some of the shoes on the market, given how much this foam compresses, it rides a lot lower than the stack height suggests. And then third shoe I wanted to bring out here to compare with the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. Is it called Deviate Nitro Elite or just Deviate Elite? I think it's Nitro Elite. But Saucony Endorphin Elite, RIP OJ. This thing is a banger. It has a huge rocker. It is not soft whatsoever. It's firm. It's aggressive. It's only really good for faster running. It really gets me up on my toes. But someone asked me recently, what shoe would I choose for a 5K? it would probably be the Endorphin Elite or the Cloudboom Echo. This thing feels really fast, and I could throw down some serious pace in this. I was hitting 610s with ease. When I ran in this in a 20-mile long run, I could probably throw down some 510s, not with ease. That's a fast pace, but I could throw down some sub-5 pace. If I were doing a serious 400-meter repeat workout or any top-end speed and I wanted to choose a race shoe, I'd probably be going for this guy. So this might be my favorite just super aggressive shoe. It's an absolute banger. Then I had one lurking back there, a little bit of a wild card. I need to get some more miles in it soon, but another one of my favorite shoes of the year. This was initially in the Vaporfly slot, but the color just coordinated better with these three. Look at that. That's a beautiful symphony. Some white, red, and purple. Bang. This is another absolute heater. You get the rocker, but you also get that soft, almost Zoom X feel. It's, if you could ever design a foam that were exactly in between Zoom X and Light Strike Pro, it would be this. This is a really comfortable shoe. For me, felt great at all my paces. So from 8 minutes down to 5 something, I felt like I could fly in this, but still have some comfort. It's got a nice chunky heel, which meant it was a little bit more versatile and more comfortable for landing for some relaxed miles. But a really solid shoe with a great toe off. So overview of some of my favorite race shoes right now in the category of the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. That's what this thing is going up against. Let's open up this bad boy. All right, here we go. I bought this from Running Warehouse. By the way, please use my Running Warehouse link if you are going to buy anything. This also came in, I think, 1 day because I live close to their shipping center. So they have free 2-day shipping. They also do free 90-day returns, but these things always come so quickly for me. And ooh, man, look at this. We have a special box today. Man, I love when they give us special boxes because the thing is, what's the Mag Max? That did not have a special box. That was just the classic Puma red. But we have the black, faster box. A little bit of silver. It's giving me some Usain Bolt vibes. Remember Usain Bolt? Legend in the game. All right, let's open up this thing. I bought it myself, so I do know the colorway. Sometimes it's a surprise, but we'll see if it's fire in person. Oh, they wrote us a little poem. Look at that. Puma Running has race day design innovation in our DNA. The only thing we believe about boundaries is that they exist to be exceeded. Fueled by nitro, propelled by power plate, Puma makes racing shoes to break barriers and shatter records. How fast will these shoes take you? Forever faster. That's nice. All right, ready? Bada boom, bada bang. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good colorway, man. I don't understand why they didn't just put this colorway on the Mag Max. One of our friends here, Mike, he suggested, let's get all this stuff out. He suggested that maybe they went with the weird blue and green on the Mag Max just so that it looked visually different from these shoes with the fade. I think these are called the fade pack with the yellow and the orange. So maybe that's why. But this is just fire. You have the yellow, the orange, you have the pink on the back here. The thing is, I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to do this one today because we've been doing all the Max Cushion Gang shoes. But after the Primex Strung OG yesterday, I'm not really sure how I could top that. I'm not really sure what other Max Cushion Gang shoes we could even bring out that would rival it. So these race shoes are still Max Cushion in a way, 40 millimeters of stack height. And this Nitro Elite foam, man, this just feels beautiful in my hands. Holy cow, it feels perfect. It is a little soft, a little bit softer than I expected, but it has that classic PIBA feedback to it. It doesn't really quite feel like any of these foams out here. Maybe the Diodora Gara foam would actually be the most similar, but it also has those classic little supercritical bubbles on the bottom here. And then you can see the plate right through the middle. So it looks like this is the plate line right here. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is probably the plate line right here. So you have the plate scooping down. You get a good bit of foam above the plate. Yeah, you can see the plate comes here lower to the ground here. So you get a good bit of foam above the plate. What I've found is that the more foam you get above the plate, the softer the shoe will feel typically because you're landing more on the foam than the plate. So, and the difference between the Sky Paris and the Edge Paris, very similar feeling shoes, but the Sky Paris felt a little bit more aggressive a little bit firmer because of where the plate was. Now, is the plate position going to help you run a PR? We always have to come back to this conversation. No, it is not. Getting up the mileage, getting up some hills, getting up some elevation gain, putting in the work, just running hard once a week, that's going to help us run a PR. This shoe or the Cloudboom Echo or Strike or the Nike Vaporfly 3, they'll all help us run a fast time in our race, but it's all about capitalizing on the training. But man, this is a looker. This is actually pink. I didn't realize that online. This back tab is pink. This little paint stripe is pink. This rubber is pink. It's a good looking shoe. You don't get a ton of rubber coverage out in the back. This is almost Vaporfly levels of not that much rubber coverage on the back. It seems like the Vaporfly actually has a few more millimeters of rubber back here. Similar coverage in the forefoot. And as I mentioned, Vaporfly is the OG in the game, but it's no longer the top choice for me and for a lot of people just because there's so many competitive shoes out there. But the other reason I wanted to bring this out is because I think it might be eating, or the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3 might be eating this guy's lunch. There's a few different categories of race shoes on the market. You have those more built-up, aggressive ones like the Endorphin Elite that are more structured, have more stability, better for bigger, taller, more powerful runners. And you have these guys which are more of these featherweight shoes. That's what the Vaporfly is. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the Deviate Nitro Elite 3. It feels pretty lightweight. I'm not sure if it's going to be as lightweight as the Vaporfly, but it doesn't feel as built up as a lot of the race shoes that I typically prefer, at least for training. So this could be another good half marathon, 10K, 5K shoe for me. Depending on the comfort, we'll see if we can take it for the full marathon distance. One thing I'm noticing though that is, let's take a look at this, just a little bit concerning for me and my typical preference is that the heel looks a little bit narrow. Yeah, you can see here it's a touch narrower than the Endorphin Elite. One of my guys just suggested that I get a caliper to measure width. I might do that. That sounds like a good idea. But yeah, it's a little bit narrower than the Endorphin Elite. If we compare it to the Vaporfly, though, you'll see it is not as narrow as the Vaporfly, which is nice. The foam is very soft, though, man. Holy cow. Holy cow. I do have the durometer. I'm not going to bring it out today, but to the touch. So look at this little hoof poking out here. You can see how much I can push that in. That is crazy. And then the other little concern that I have about it is look at where the foam cuts off. There's nothing beyond the heel. So this is really going to encourage a mid to forefoot strike just from the setup. I can tell you that now without even looking at it, which again is why I'm maybe a little bit concerned about using this for the full marathon distance. How's it going to feel for more relaxed clunking on the back? You can see even the Endorphin Elite, this does have more foam off the back, but because of the rocker geometry and just the overall setup of the shoe and how curved it is up in the front, this one felt no good at all. Get the knife out of here. No knives. What do you think this is? Because of the setup on this one really puts you up on your toes. The rocker on the Deviate Nitro Elite, what is this called? Okay, it is just Deviate Elite 3. Shoe fire. They say it right there. I don't even know. Shoe fire. Alright, man, just while we were filming, Supwell app doing numbers. We got the Adios Pro 3 posted, size 10 for 160. Saucony Endorphin Elite, size 10 for 160. And then bang, our friend Ray coming through with the SC Elite V3, $65. So Supwell app doing numbers, link below. Get in with me. Want to mess around, change your life, join the Supwell app. Let's go. All right, weighing in the Deviate Elite 3. So it feels decently lightweight. It doesn't feel like the lightest weight shoe out there. The other thing, though, is this upper, it gives me big track spike vibes. Now, I have never laced up a track spike, and the Olympics actually really made me regret what could have been. Man, I feel like I could have had a good track and field career, and I could have been that, that high school just star, glory days, just getting a lot of third and fourth place finishes in the 800 meters. But instead, I'm a hobby jogger, busting out 100-mile weeks. All right, weighing in the Deviate Elite 3, 215 grams, so pretty much exactly what I thought. It's lightweight. It's a lot lighter than the median. So median is about 220. That's pretty much center of the market. That's about what the Cloudboom Strike is, I believe. Let's throw this guy on to check. By the way, if you buy the Cloudboom Strike, yeah, this is $228. If you buy this shoe, you have to change the laces. The laces came undone, I believe, 4 times through the course of that run. One of the worst laces in just upper setups that I have ever experienced. But 228 grams, this is pretty average. Nike Vaporfly, on the lighter end, this is going to come in right at 210, 209.5 grams. So, man, that's actually a lot closer to the Deviate Elite than I thought. So I have a feeling we're going to be flying in this thing this morning. Let's check out the Saucony Endorphin Elite. If you're looking for a size 10, go check out the Supwell app. 225 grams. So, yeah, another median shoe. Right down the center of the market. Deviate Elite 3 is going to be a little bit lighter than that, but the trade-offs here, and this is what I always like to talk about when it comes to weight. With the Deviate Elite 3, you get a denser foam. That's going to be a little heavier because you're getting more oomph per cubic millimeter, right? Less oomph per cubic millimeter in this one. And then the other thing is just what we talked about already. You got a little bit more width and a little bit more foam hanging off of the back of the Endorphin Elite. So that's going to add to the weight as well. On foot, is it going to make a huge difference? Probably not. Over the course of a race, will 10 grams make some marginal difference? Yes. Scientifically, but artistically, poetically, if we're thinking about our soul as runners, as hobby joggers, being comfortable and confident is going to make a lot more difference. Also putting in the work during training. So whatever shoe you feel more comfortable lacing up on race day, if you're able to put some good training miles in it, if you're able to get acclimated to it, and then if you're able to show up to the start line healthy, that's going to make a lot more difference than either one of these shoes. But all that being said, this is a lightweight shoe. It does have good rubber coverage. Hopefully this is a shoe that you could put 100 miles on before the race and be fine. I'm really big on us getting a lot of miles in our race shoes before race day. And if you look at the top marathoners in the world, they all train in their race shoes before race day. Our friends Clayton and Connor, if you look at their series, they were both training Alphafly. In the case of Connor, he was actually training in the Alphafly 1 a lot, but he did have some good workouts in the Alphafly 3 in that show. By the way, they need to drop the last episode, right? We've been sitting out here waiting. And then Clayton was training in a pair of the Sky Paris for the whole entire series. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, those are USA's 2 marathoners in the Olympics who were, 8th and 9th. The difference with us hobby joggers from Clayton and Connor is, say we got the Deviate Elite 3 and train in it, we're not going to be able to get a second pair just for race day. Well, we could, but we're probably not going to do that. Even if we do buy a lot of shoes, it'd just be kind of weird to get 2 pairs of the same shoes. So that's why durability is important. Being able to put 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 quality efforts on these shoes before race day and then show up with them still feeling decently fresh. That's what we're aiming for. Endorphin Elite has great durability. I think the Cloudboom Strike is going to be okay. We'll have to see. Vaporfly does not. The durability on this is horrible. ZoomX tends to lose its balance around, even 50, 60, 70 miles in. There can be a noticeable difference. So that's the other thing about some of these more modern shoes that have come in. And ZoomX hasn't really been changed since, 2017? So some of these more modern shoes coming in, better durability, better foam performance, not just out there on the run, but in the summation of runs, the totality of the shoe's experience, going to give us a little bit more life. So hopefully that's what we'll get out of the Deviate Elite 3, but only the miles will tell. German engineering. Oh my goodness. Mess around and forget the QA check again. All right, real quick QA check on the German engineering. 208.5. Wow, that is horrible QA. That is a big difference. Okay. See, this is why I do it. 208.5. And this other one, 216.5. I think it was around 215.5 last time. Maybe there's some variance on the scale. Either way, that is a big difference. That is outside our margin of error that we like to see. So you failed. I don't know where the difference is coming from. It's not going to make that much of a difference out there on the run, but it just suggests a tier B quality shoe when you can't get the weight right across them. At least the price is lower though. These are only $230 compared to, what is this? 280 for the Cloudboom Strike, 260 or 265 for the Vaporfly, and then 275 for the Endorphin Elite. So these shoes are expensive, for sure. Drop a bag, make a deviate. And Chen said the Nina got my back like I'm Rondo. That's a bar. That's a bar. All right, lacing up the Deviate. Is it Deviate Elite? They say Deviate Elite, and then they have the Nitro here. I'm still not really sure what this shoe is called. Deviate Elite 3. Let's see. Lengthwise, this is solid. Lengthwise, this is perfect. It does have a little bit of that classic Puma snugness, but this upper feels nice and lightweight. Something a little weird is going on with the heel, actually. It almost feels like a stability shoe heel in the upper. But yeah, on step in here, there's nothing too noticeable about the feel of it. Some shoes, when I step in, they just feel super aggressive. This feels okay. It's really just that soccer vibe on the top. But let's do a little bit of a comparison to the Vaporfly on the right side. And by the way, for the Olympics, Puma's marathoners, they were pretty evenly split between the Deviate Elite 3 here and the, Fast R Nitro. Fast R Nitro is supposed to be a little bit more powerful. So if you have a harder foot strike, you're putting down some force into the shoe, that's supposed to be better. And this is supposed to be a little bit more of a higher cadence, light on your foot type of shoe. So you can think of this like the Vaporfly, the other one like the Alphafly, or the Endorphin Elite, or the Sky Paris. So lacing these things up here. The Vaporfly definitely has a nicer feeling upper. Yeah, Vaporfly just feels a little bit, sometimes I don't like using this word to describe shoes because it's not that helpful, but the Vaporfly just feels a little bit nicer on the upper. The foam is very soft and compressed. In this Vaporfly, I think I only have about 40 or 50 miles on it. Maybe I should sell it on the marketplace, huh? But I do think the foam is compressed down a little bit or changed from when I first got it. I'm not going to sell this on the marketplace, but I think it's changed a little bit and maybe just losing a bit of that pop. I really think ZoomX just does not have that much durability to it, but Fast R Nitro here feels completely normal for walking. It does have that soccer cleat vibe out here like a Mia Hamm. Stability is okay. I do think it's going to put us a little bit more up on our toes, but the lightweight is nice. And the other nice thing is that the forefoot feels a little bit more cushioned than the Vaporfly. I do have a little bit more stack in the forefoot here. I'm not sure of the exact stack height, but just looking at it, you can see it's not as low as the Vaporfly, which is nice. This can feel like a lot of ground contact at times. So let's do a little jog test here. All right, man, you already know who this jog test is brought to you by. Brought to you by the Supwell app. Mess around and change your life on the Supwell app. Deviate Nitro Elite Nitro 3 versus the Nike Vaporfly. Let's do it. Yeah, my heart rate is up. I was getting after it on the way back. So on the way down, what I've been doing is jogging on the way down and then zooming on the way back. This felt so low to the ground, not just compared to what I've been running to recently, but even compared to something like the Hyperion 2. This just feels like a lot more ground feel. It just feels like there's a plate and I'm running right on top of the carbon plate, suspended with a little bit of air in between it or something. There's a lot of ground feel on this shoe. It is very nimble, but not the most protective or cushioned. This does feel a lot more like max cushion gang, and that is the impressive thing about the weight here. When we're thinking about the weight to performance ratio, the foam feels like it's doing a lot better job at protecting me than this guy. But then on the way back, I could feel that classic ZoomX bounce. I could feel that pop. I could feel the snap of the plate throwing me along. And I don't know what I felt from this. This didn't feel anything like anything special. It just kind of felt okay. So we'll have to see. We'll have to get some miles in, plan for this run. Let's go up there and lace up the other one. I can tell you plan for the run. All right, plan for this run, 10 miles. I don't know what pace. We're just gonna get out there and go. It's a race shoe though, so not recovery pace, most likely. But I've gotten some really good workouts and just runs this week. Monday, I got a nice little tempo style run, getting down to 6 flat. Tuesday, I did some repeats out at the Harrisburg Oval. What else did I do? Yesterday was a solid run in the Prime X Strung, so we just got to get moving. But yeah, man, this upper on the Deviate Nitro Elite 3, it doesn't give me race day vibes, lacing it up. It's more of a training shoe upper. I think this is actually the same tongue that's on the Deviate Nitro, the training version of this shoe. So that's one area that's a little bit disappointing. It just doesn't feel like a race shoe upper. Even look at the Endorphin Elite here. You have this super lightweight vibe. You have the tongue with all the craziness. It has a little bit more of that special feeling, and that's okay. We don't always need special. Maybe this is just going to be comfortable and give us confidence and feel solid out there, but I do have to note, nothing about it feels special yet. The Fast R Nitro definitely had more of that aggressive race day feel to it, but then out there on the run, it was horrible for me. So this is the thing with these shoes. It's all about how they run. The upper plays a very minimal part of the ride experience unless it's distracting you from running and poking on top of your foot like that. By the way, before we get out there, look at that. That's a big word. Nitro. Hey, surprisingly, this is not super soft. Yeah, early overreaction here. This is a little firmer. It's not a firm shoe, just a little firmer than I thought. Nowhere near as soft as ZoomX. I think this is gonna be a good one. And at my warm-up pace right here, it doesn't feel that special, but I can tell. This is like the Prime X Strung yesterday. I can tell once I start to get going, this is gonna give us some pop. So I'm gonna focus, lock in. Whew. It's always hard catching my breath on the first half mile here, but focus, lock in, warm up, and then just crank it up. But the bounce is good. Comfort is really good so far. Upper is definitely a little bit snug. But I think this is gonna be a comfortable and bouncy one. Maybe some Endorphin Pro 3 vibes. So I hit that first straightaway pretty hard. My legs are feeling okay. We'll see what I have. It's not the most aggressive feeling toe off. That's why I liked it with the Gara, the Endorphin Elite, the Cloudboom, all those shoes. They make it really easy to transition through the stride, and the ground contact time feels very minimal. The foam here is nice, but I'm just not getting that fast roll through that I love. But we'll see how it evolves. I am clipping off at a pretty good pace to start here though. At mile 1, 6:27. So far, this is fine. It's completely fine. Feels like a slightly above average race shoe. Tier B. Nothing special about it. If I were forced to run a marathon or race in it, I think I'd be okay, but it's just not giving me that special sauce, that zing. And with these race shoes, I mean, if I'm clipping off at 6:30 pace, I should be able to tell pretty immediately whether it's going to be a winner or not. This one just feels serviceable. But hey, maybe that's still the early overreaction. All right, mile 2, 6:05. So I'm moving pretty good. And I'm hitting a fast clip, but the shoe just, it's not fun. There's no je ne sais quoi. And it feels narrow and just like a lot of work to run in. It's not giving me that smoothness, that buttery roll. And it's not getting me to transition as quick as I want to. So this might go in the Edge Paris camp of proficient, but not popping. It's not popping me off. Putting in work, let's go. Let's go, look at her go, backwards walking. Up your best. All right. Get you whacked in a pair of wind flows, brother. All right, that was a 5:59 uphill, but that was all me. That was not the shoe. The shoes is not giving me much juice this morning. But I am hitting paces, so I can't complain. ZYXWVUTSR QPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. These other boys think they're fit. They're not really fit until you recite the alphabet backwards at a 5:50 pace, bro. Up your mileage, hit the streets, and get in with me. Don't let them lie to you, man. It's all about the mileage. Mileage isn't the only thing. It's everything. It's not everything, it's the only thing. Man, get your mileage up. Don't lie to yourself and think you're getting fit on low mileage, busting out 200 repeats. You gotta build that base, and then you be out here reciting the alphabet backwards. All right, that's the only way to do it, brother. All right, mile 4, 5:45. I really gotta put some force down into this one. This is not a lightweight shoe. This is a heavy hitter. You gotta mash. You gotta mash, and then it opens up. Tell you, man, I'm giving out free game. It's free 99. This is the training plan. Go outside and get some miles in. That's it. You'll get fitter. You'll get fitter. And watch the videos. These other boys just mad because my video has more minutes than their VO2 max, bro. A video length is higher than their VO2 max. It's disrespectful. We out here like Christopher Wallace, putting up big numbers. These other boys like Christopher Mintz Plus. We are not the same. Mile 5, 5:47. Here's some good hard running. All right, mile 6, 5:50. It's getting hard. Up the giant hill. Run hard, risk flaming out. That's how we build. You gotta break the hill. Don't let it break you. You gotta shake the hill. Don't let it shake you. You gotta bake the hill. Don't let it take you. Lay your body down in a pair of wind floats. Bro, putting in work. .603 up to 80-foot elevation gain hill. It's not about heart rate, man. It's about heart. Oh, you're putting in work. Run hard, get stronger, get outside. That's what we do it for. Whew. It's getting hard, but we got it downhill. This is where you just gotta turn yourself into a savage. Break the run, man. Don't let the run break you. Mile 8, 5:49. Beast mode activated. I just killed a lizard. I tried to dodge it, and then it went right under my foot. Oh my goodness. All right, mile 9, 5:57. Last one, finish strong. Man, these just rode by in the golf cart filming me. It's disrespectful. Might have to mess around, start an OnlyFans, start charging for this access. Up like a falafel in a pair of wind flows, brother. I'm at a 540 something pace. I could kill this last 400. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna be responsible. All right, man, we were hungry. Hungry Wolf Run Club, just getting after it this morning. Let's see what we got here. Bang! 10 miles, 5:58 pace. It's so nice to see that. 5. It's nice to see that 5 with a lot of elevation gain. Let's see how much vert we got. Look at that, running performance excellent. Don't let the robots tell you how to run, though. I'm telling you, don't let the robots control your running. Best mile 5:42. All that. Average heart rate 165. I don't even know if I believe that. Elevation gain 440. That's decent. So 10 miles, 440 feet of elevation, and 1 lizard killed. I'm really sorry about that. These are the reptile killer 5000s. Man, we got some reptiles out there. There's a lot of snakes in that grass. Might have to call up my guy Dan from Longevity. Bring him out here in a pair of wind flows. Get him all whacked. A lot of snakes in these YouTube streets. Alright, man, I don't even know. I'm out here talking nonsense in the Deviate Nitro. So I was ripping. I was throwing down some fast pace. But the shoe just... it was missing that little soft special bounce that I got out of the forefoot of the Cloudboom Strike. And the rocker on this guy is just a little bit better. It was missing the roll in the pop of the Endorphin Elite. And the special feeling that I get lacing this up with the upper just hugs my foot like a glove. It was missing that. It just, there's something about the shoe, and I'll break down the ride experience and everything. There's just something about the shoe that's just not quite there. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't have that special feeling that I'm looking for in a race shoe. And we don't always need to have something amazing. This is a solid shoe. It just feels more like, it feels like it's perfect for the run I just did. A hard 10 miles, if you want to call it a tempo, whatever you want to call it. It feels perfect for that type of a run. It just, I don't know if the foam needs another rev or it's the position of the plate. Something about it just did not elevate it to that next level. It's sitting in tier B right now. But let me go shower and then we can do the full breakdown. And now that we launched the Supwell app, I already had people asking me about training plans, which I really want to do. at some point to help people, just give you some insights on how to structure training. But for me, it's really, when I'm feeling good, I run hard. This week I'm feeling good, so I'm just mashing every day, throwing down 6 flat, throwing down 550s. Last week I was feeling horrible, so I was barely even running. I was running at about, I think I hit 58 miles, which is about 60% of my weekly volume. Just was not moving and grooving at all. Next week I'll probably be a little bit more fatigued, and I won't be running as hard. I'll be running more relaxed miles and maybe only throw 1 or 2 days of faster pace in there. So that's my philosophy. We just gotta run hard when we feel good, let the body recover, try to get as many miles in as possible. You already heard me say this, without getting fired, divorced, or injured, and we will get fitter. We will get fitter if we do that. All right. Oh, that's a bright one today, huh? So I just posted my run on Strava, and my guy Andy asked me, because I don't upload the shoes or input the shoes until the next day, because I like to keep it a secret. But he said, "Did you do that run in a max cushion shoe?" And I don't know, is this max cushion, gang? I mean, this does look like a lot of stack in the forefoot. This is definitely above 30 millimeters, and I do have to say, this rides like a max cushion gang shoe, even though it is lightweight. So that's one of the things I am really impressed with the shoe. The comfort is there, the stack is there, the foam is a nice foam. There's just something about the shoe that's not quite coming together for me. And I know yesterday I was out here with the tears of joy on the Primex Strung, and I was telling you, with some shoes, they're so good that I don't have to think about whether I like them or not. I don't have to think about, is it stable? I don't have to think about, does the upper fit my foot? It just works. And I told you, Primex Strung, 860, SL2, Cloudboom Strike. There's a few of those shoes that did that. With this shoe, throughout that run, I was thinking about, am I landing right? I was thinking about, is this the best foam for me? I was thinking about, should I be kicking a little bit harder to get the most benefit out of this foam? So it's a good shoe, but not a great shoe for me. Let's throw up the run today. So we did 10 miles, a nice hard ripper. This was just a solid, good old barn burner. Get out there, get the legs moving, not worried about pace, not worried about effort, not worried about, am I gonna be recovered for the long run Sunday? And this is what I'm saying about my training style, my training philosophy. I go based on how I'm feeling that day. Today I was feeling like I wanted to get a good, solid, hard run in all week. I really wanted to get a nice 10 miler in, and I was deciding whether or not I was going to do it yesterday. I held off yesterday because I wanted one more day of recovery after a lot of mileage earlier in the week. I only did one run yesterday for 10 miles. Then today I was feeling good enough to attack some pace, so we went for it. And if I died after that hill on mile 6, if I died, I was just going to crawl home out of 7 or 7:30 if I needed to. And that's what I'm finding for me, is that I'd rather just run and take the consequences of running. Now, I'm not going to risk injury. I can feel my body, and if my knees felt like my IT band was about to pop out of the front, then I would have slowed down, of course. But just in terms of the fatigue, I'm flirting a little bit more with, hey, some days I'm going to do those 6 by 1 kilometer meter repeats and completely flame out and not be able to do the 400s after. And that's okay. For me right now, it's about finding the limits. How hard can I push and then recover and still maintain the volume? So this was a really solid week of training. Tomorrow is just going to be our nice little classic Saturday, probably 4-mile run, and then Sunday is the long run. So I'm happy with the effort. This was a really solid shoe for the effort today. Let's call it a 10-mile tempo run, probably around half marathon pace, maybe a little bit slower. I think if I ran a hard half marathon right now on the right course, I'd be 540 something pace, maybe 550. So about half marathon pace. Let's call it between half marathon pace and marathon pace. The foam felt great for my fast running style. It's not the softest, not the firmest, and for me, it did take some force to activate and get going, and I felt like I needed to crank it up to a certain level. I think about 620, 610 is where I really started to feel the benefit of this shoe, which is interesting because on the Deviate Nitro, the training version of the shoe, that's actually one of my favorite plated trainers of the year. It feels very versatile, a little bit more comfortable than this, maybe even a little bit softer than this. And I know that has two types of foams. That has the training foam and the race foam. But that shoe just, it's one of those shoes that just works for me. I don't have to think about it other than the weirdness of the toe box. The stability on it is good. The plate feels like it gives me just the right amount of structure and pop, stabilizing that foam. With this, the package just isn't coming together in the same way. And I think it's because of the rocker and the way that the foam is shaped, and maybe also because of the plate. But if you take a look at this shoe here, now I am typically more of a heel striker to flat foot landing runner. I definitely don't land slanted like this. I'm more of a flat foot landing to maybe even slightly heel to roll through at times. When I'm landing faster, it's more of that a touch to the midfoot. Something about the back of this shoe and the way that the foam cuts off, a lot of these shoes just tend to not work as great for my style. Now this did work for me. It just felt like a little bit more effort to get it going. It wasn't pushing me through the stride as I like with some of my favorite race shoes. It doesn't have that big rocker profile. If you take a look at the bottom here, let's do a little 48 ouncer demonstration. Take a look at the bottom here. You can see that there's actually a space. Can you see that? Can you see me? Can you see me through? Can you see my eye? Can you see my eye between the shoe and the bottle? You can see that there's actually a space right there, and it doesn't have that huge curve. Now there is a little bit of a rocker in the front, but it wasn't as aggressive as the Endorphin Elite. It wasn't as poppy as the Cloudboom Echo. And if you look at the forefoot here, unlike the Tri-Nusa, which was pushing our toes to the sky, and I had a friend actually confirm that today on the channel. He said, man, you were right, that is very uncomfortable. This is way flatter on the inside. It just doesn't feel that aggressive. So comfortable, yes. There weren't any times where I felt like it was too unstable. Now, it's not the most stable shoe. I was definitely like rearranging my hat weirdly. It's not the most stable shoe. Endorphin Elite is more stable. I think all those shoes other than the Vaporfly are more stable. It is pretty narrow in the heel compared to where a lot of the market is going, but that wasn't really the issue with the shoe. It just felt like I couldn't really get it going in the way that it needed me to. It didn't quite lock in with my mechanics. So proficient, yes. Fast, yes. The fun quotient is just not there. It's a little bit serious. It reminds me a lot of the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris. I do have to say the upper fits my foot a little bit better. It's just not special. The upper feels like a training upper. The tongue, I think it's actually the same exact tongue that's in the training version of that shoe. And even in that shoe, it feels a little bit cheap compared to other shoes in the category or at the price point. The thing is, with the Deviate Nitro 3, that's $160. This is $230, which does undercut the rest of the market for race shoes other than the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. But all those other shoes just feel a little bit better put together. Like the materials are more considered, and like the rocker geometries are just there. And man, a good rocker and a good underfoot foam shape can really make or break the shoe. Now this shoe is good. Again, it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not great. I think for the next generation, if they could give it more of that curve, maybe extend the foam out of the back, that would make this a much better shoe. So I don't usually give shoes grades or ratings, but this is a solid B to B+. If you're looking for light and fast, it's a good option. It's a solid option. This is probably the most comfortable out of the light and fast shoes. More comfortable than the Vaporfly, way more cushion and supportive and stable, more comfortable than the Asics Metaspeed shoes. I would 100% take this for a full marathon over the Asics Metaspeed shoes. Those don't fit my foot that well, and the foam is way more narrow, and it's a little bit softer and less aggressive than the Saucony Endorphin Elite. But that shoe, the Endorphin Elite, just works better for me putting down some force and power at that 550 something pace. Now, the shoe that this actually reminds me the most of is the Rocket X2 by Hoka. I would love to do a head-to-head. I actually don't have that shoe anymore because I sent it back to Brian, who loaned it to me so I could do that review. So maybe I'll pick up another pair of the Rocket X2. I also want to just get some more miles in that shoe at some point, but that's what this is giving me vibes of. But I just liked the Rocket X2 a little bit better. Something about that shoe, it did have that special factor. It was simple, it was special. The upper was really nice and considered. This one just feels a little bit average, It's one of those emotional things, right? Where it's fine, it just does not have that special factor. It's not wowing me. And in a race shoe, I do want that. I do want that in my race shoe. I want a little bit of that special factor to it. I'm not going to completely rule this out as a shoe to run a marathon in because it did work for me and I was hitting some fast pace. So I'll do a long run in it, and maybe mile 20, 21, or 22, I'll have a different opinion. But after today, good shoe, not a great shoe, solid B to B plus. If we can get some good durability out of it, then this will be a nice option, because that is something that I'm prioritizing right now as well. As I mentioned up there, I like recommending shoes that we can get solid mileage in. So ride experience was solid, fit is solid, if a little bit snug, stability a little bit below average, foam is right in the middle of soft and firm. Not the most aggressive ride, it's just pretty average shoe. Pretty average shoe all around. I don't think anyone is gonna really dislike this shoe, but I also don't think it's gonna be the best, most optimal choice for anybody. So there you have it. I'll do more testing on this. Stay tuned for the long run test. Let me know if you have any comparisons you want to see. I actually haven't been doing too many comparisons. But yeah, let me know if you want to see a comparison to this. I think Rocket X2 and Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris are the closest ones, but I can tell you right now, a lot more comfortable than the Asics shoes, a lot more comfortable than the Vaporfly as well. That is all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow for another video. One more thing, I do have to say the special secret sauce here, it could just be the Puma grip. We know how grippy this is. One of the best in the rain, you're not gonna slip. I cannot say the same about the Saucony Endorphin Elite. That has one of the worst grip I've ever seen. So, I mean, maybe this would just be the backup shoe, right? You throw this, use this for training and long runs, throw it in your race day bag, your travel bag for whatever marathon you're gonna travel to. Have this as your backup to the Cloudboom, your backup to even the Alpha Fly or any race shoe, the Endorphin Elite, and then if it rains, this is the one you go with on race day. It's that type of a shoe, right? It's B tier, but it's solid, and it's good enough that I would not be mad at all if I were forced to race in this shoe. I'm just hoping we get something else on the long run, because it's just a little bit lackluster. Lackluster. Honey Ross, that's every day. All right, a little quick refuel here. One more thing. This is our lunch. We had to come with the Goodles pasta. Hold on, I think I threw out I literally put it on the table so I could show you guys, and then I threw it out. This is what happens when you don't think. You just talk too much and you don't think. This is exactly what happens. All right, this is the Goodles Vegan is Believin' Fire Mac and Cheese. It tastes a little bit like the Annie's purple box, but I can't eat that anymore because I don't eat dairy. But boom. And then I sauced it up a little bit with some extra olive oil in the sauce. We got the green peas. I got flamed last time I showed peas in my pasta on this channel, but it's like you guys never heard of carbonara before, man. Pull up like we're out here in Milan. Bang. And then the field roast vegan sausage. This is the apple and sage flavor. Absolute fire. And a little update on the Supwell app. Guys, look at this. Out here doing transactions today. And by the way, if you're a men's 12.5, bang, bang. You're going to be eating on the Supwell app. Rebel V4, Hoka Cielo X1, Prime X Strong, men's 12.5. Then we got this Tempo Next Percent, 10.5 men's. I might have to mess around and cop this one, actually. We got a Peg Plus review. We got a Boston 11, if you're looking for a firm tempo shoe. We got a Adios Pro 3, size 10. You serious? Look at that, bang. Endorphin Elite, bang. Numbers. Transactions, baby, come on. Supwell app, link below. All right, one more thing, dinner here. Mace, what do we have for dinner?
We have gnocchi. We have Brussels sprouts and sausage. We have honey, and we have the skin of the lemon, and it's fire and it's crisp. My favorite part is the gnocchi.
How many teeth did you lose this week?
2.
How many teeth did you swallow this week?
2.
Did the tooth fairy still come?
Yes.